Hey everyone, this is Different Spectrums Podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Nazir Zerka. Go by Dr. Naz, licensed clinical therapist, social worker, group therapist, public speaker, and all that other crazy shit. I am humbly and excited to bring you onto the podcast to listen to us. We've got tons of pods. You can go back and look at our catalog with tons of beautiful guests, awesome guests, intelligent guests, magnificent people. Go check those out. But moving forward, I will be your host and only host, and really excited to bring you a new era of more personable, more self-help, more things to educate and bring to life the characters, movies, and shows in which we were originally supposed to do. So much appreciation for you guys following, listening, paying attention. Please like, share, so we can spread the word, so folks like me that are very authentic can get more clicks, likes, and just more people to listen and hear. I also want to bring attention to the intro, all the resources that we have in the link tree. Please go check those out. Remember, tons of free worksheets for you, friends, other therapists. There's assessments for ADHD, autism, anxiety. There's couples related stuff. There's coloring related stuff. It's all free. And plus I have a massive list of athletes, for those of you that love sports, of folks that have mental health related issues that have been collecting that. It's over 60 pages long. And I've been doing it for about 6 or 7 years now. So much appreciation, much love. And thank you for rocking with me. Enjoy the show, enjoy our guest, or just enjoy me running my mouth about whatever we're talking about today. Much love, y'all. And remember to take care of yourselves. And if you don't, we'll get you there. We'll get you there, homie. Peace.
You want to talk about it?
There's a old Chinese tradition. When someone dies, you're supposed to open all the doors and windows, literally sweep all the death out of your house so that everyone else can go on living.
If only it were that easy, right?
My brother and I got attacked about a year ago. After a big tournament in Beijing. My brother won, but the guy he beat wanted revenge. So he got a couple of guys and they cornered us. We were outnumbered. One of them pulled a knife. Bo was screaming for me to help him. I froze. Now I'm here and he's not, so yeah. I let him down.
You're gonna have to let yourself off the hook, Lee. You deal with it or it's gonna deal with you.
Yeah.
Next 5 minutes, let's go.
Got the ice. Do we need anything else? Lee? Why are you ignoring me?
Not.
Yes, you are. I'm already really nervous and stressed about tonight, and your weirdness is not helping.
I'm working your dad's corner tonight, not yours, so let's just focus on that, okay?
No, not okay. Lee. What's going on with you?
I don't know. Why don't you ask Connor?
What is that supposed to mean?
You two seemed pretty close last night. At San Gennaro, Alan and I showed up for a bit.
That's what this is about. Look, Lee, it's complicated, but...
It's fine, I get it. Actually, no, I don't get it. Explain it to me. He doesn't deserve you, Mia. Not even a little bit.
You know how sometimes you have those dumb mistakes that you just keep making over and over again, and it's like you don't even really want to keep making them, but you do because it's there and it's easy, and last night...
Yeah, actually, I'm good. I don't want
Last night was not one of those nights, okay? He wanted it to be, but I told him that I'm done making those same mistakes with him because I met someone that I want to make new mistakes with.
So, is that what we're doing? We're making mistakes?
Best way to learn.
Oh my God!
Really?
Well, we were just, I mean,
We were talking about
Fight night.
strategies for the...
I don't want to hear it. He's just lucky I have someone else to knock out tonight.
Whoa, illegal blow! That's illegal!
Hey, that's elbows!
That's illegal! You can't do that! Gentlemen, break it up! Break it up! Illegal blow! Knock him out!
Let's get him inside right now. Close floor, everyone. Out the way, out the way.
这是个年轻的男孩子，遭到严重殴打。他有刀伤。
Lee! Lee, what are you doing? Come on!
司令，
Lee, we need you!
Your uncle says this Connor kid fights like a tiger. I have plenty of experience with opponents like that. You know the best way to defeat a tiger?
Be a bigger tiger?
Set a trap. Use your opponent's aggression against them.
No. Better like this. Come. Better like this.
Maybe in Kung Fu. But in Karate, ready?
Oh, there's a weird noise in my hip. There's a weird noise in my hip. Punch! Check it out!
No, come on!
Ancient way.
Just stay here for a second. This is kind of nice.
But in the valley,
Just give me a second.
Miyagi way.
I show you this.
No, guys. In Brooklyn, this is considered assault.
He's a good student. He's had a good teacher.
Teacher only as good as his students. Sensei Miyagi taught me that.
I miss him. But every time I have the chance to pass on a piece of his legacy, it's never the wrong choice.
Let's go, Connor! Let's run! Check!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Different Spectrums podcast. Again, I'm Dr. Nas, your host, your only host, the one and only Big Booty Nas. I mean, Dr. Nas, licensed clinical therapist, social worker. Been doing this shit for 12 years. And now today we're going to chop it up and talk about the Karate Kid Legends. The newer one came out in 2025. Before we get started, again, I'm giving giveaways away every week, every podcast, and I'll get to sending those out around July 1st. This time I'm going to give out these 3D printed coasters that I'm going to print shortly after this. It'll either be the Miyagi-Do with the bonsai tree, or I'll print the Cobra Kai one based on whatever you want. I'll put you a set of like 5 coasters. If you want, I can also do like a Funko Pop of Miyagi-Do or like of like one of the Karate Kid. I would say it's a big ass head. I don't know, it's a white dude. So I can do a Funko Pop if you want it as well. Or I can just do like a cool ass bonsai tree. So it's really up to you guys. I will give you the options. I'm not printing this Jackie Chan octopus fidget toy. The fucking thing is terrifying. I'll try to put a clip of this of what I'm looking at. I hate those things. But yeah, I was thinking doing the coasters. I can also do a sticker or like a magnet of Mr. Miyagi that actually looks really cool. Like I actually think I'm going to print that off and put that on the back of the wall here. So let me know what you guys want when we figure out the raffle. Again, comment Karate Kid, tag 2 people. Comment Karate Kid, tag 2 people. If you don't, then I'll remind you, that way I can put you in the raffle, because I'm just trying to give some shit away and then get people to understand what the pod is. All right, let's lock the fuck in. So today we're looking at 5 scenes therapeutically, and I forgot because I watched this in my last road trip, and I watched this with my brother, and I think we're gonna do it around some. We always talk about trauma and PTSD, but obviously, like a fuck ton of us have that as neurodivergent people, autistic people, ADHD people, OCD people, right? Those who grew up in poverty, queer people. It's a thing. We all have some type of trauma response or some type of thing that messes with us. Oh yes, I'm wearing a hat. I got a shit ton of hats that I've always had, and like obviously you guys know I'm bald, but I wanted to wear some of my cool nerdy hats. So I think I'm going to do that sometimes now. I think it fits in with the aesthetics, the aesthetics of my room, because I'm autistic. So, but I think we're going to do this in a different type of like trauma though than we always talk about. I'm going to type about the like different ways in which we enter a traumatic event. And so all you know about the freeze, fight, flight, fawn. And the fawn is the one in which, maybe a little bit doty over the person. You're doing what they say. You're just kind of bending the knee and just going with it. You're fawning. You're all in on what they say. Some of it could be out of fear response. It could be out of just you being confused, deregulated. You could just be checked out and completely dissociated. But you're mostly like one of my humans said one of my girlies said, why am I not making it gendered? You just kind of like nod with it. When someone's saying some wild shit, derogatory shit, you're just like, it is what it is. Like, let me just nod till this loser will leave me alone. That's one that I think a lot of folks don't really know. A lot of you are very common with the freeze. And that's what we're going to look at today. There are some fighters out there. I've frozen at times. I'm normally someone that jumps into action and probably acts too abruptly. Not a lot of us. And then there is the run, flight. So run, flight, the same thing. So those are folks that run away from a situation. A lot of you will be that as well too. I have a lot of clients that when they get very overstimulated, overwhelmed, an argument pops off, I gotta go. Oh, I gotta go. Like that SpongeBob meme. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Oh yeah. I do this. I'll whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? And so those are pretty much the ones, these trauma responses that are happening acutely in the moment. So I'm not talking about all the other PTSD and hypervigilance and all the other shit that comes afterwards, even though we are getting ready to see some scenes about what comes afterwards. I wanted to talk about, I'm going to do my best to not be too triggering in the pod. Obviously, this is a trigger warning. We are going to see a physical violence and harm and a knife being pulled out and then someone being stabbed. And we're going to see the fallout from that. I'm also relating this without bringing up the topic graphically about sexual assault. and a lot of situations of what my young women are put in, some of my young boys as well too. And I'm also using this for confrontation that you're having or conflict with your employers, your bosses, and you just standing up for yourself and speaking up to power and doing what you need to do to make sure that your voice is heard. You're not pooped on because of your race, ethnicity, gender, your hair, whatever it is. And I want you and I need you to become stronger. You have to be. Period. This is your burden if you're listening to this and call to action. I don't need you to be angry. I don't need you to be violent. I don't need you to be Darth Maul. I just need you to use your voice. And even if your voice shakes, I need you to speak. Maybe that's just telling people that you're autistic. Maybe that's telling people that, you know what? I don't like it when you say those things. I don't like the comments. I don't like the reels that you send me because they're kind of weird. I don't like the comments that you make about this other person. I don't like it when you touch my shoulder or my hand or my hair. I don't like those things. I don't like the tone or inflection. And this isn't you being soft or sensitive. This is you being like, hey, you say you love me or you say we're homies or we're dogs. I think that I need you to show up a little bit different if you're willing to make sure that we're all feeling comfortable in this space. And obviously I'm taking things from my day-to-day actions. And there's some clients I've been working with and they're sick of people talking to them any certain way. And they're sick of allowing people, specifically men, to say things to them, to belittle them, to degrade them, to raise their voice to them, to act like they're wrong, act like they don't know what they're talking about, to mansplain certain things, to make it seem as if my humans don't know what they're doing, aren't highly successful, intelligent, strong, resilient, and capable to do what they need to do. And so this pod goes out to everyone, but obviously specifically my girlies, because that's what the nonprofit pretty much helps. Remember that I run 3 group therapies for women, 1 mixed for graduate students, and then 1 for men. And my practice is probably like 90% women at this point in time. So love my job. I guess I wanted to bring this up too. I was actually crying about this yesterday, but I think I'm pretty regulated right now to speak about this. But I remember I was in group therapy the other day with clients. By the other day, right before the semester ended, so probably like a month ago. And I told the girls, I said that my practice has turned to this. That it's mostly women. And the one girl looks at me so happy and bubbly and magnificent human, full of joy and trauma, but full of joy. And she goes, "You're probably the happiest you ever been too, ain't you, Dr. Nas?" She was like, look, pretty much like telling me like, yeah, it's all the girlies. I was like, I think this is the saddest I've ever been. Her face just like, huh? Why? I said, you guys go through a lot of shit, man. And I don't think that I was prepared for this. But I guess you're never prepared for anything in life, are you? I feel like everything just gets thrown at us and we just deal with it and we keep moving and moving and moving and we survive. This isn't me complaining about anyone's story. This isn't me looking for sympathy. This is just stating that I didn't realize that the stories would weigh on me as much. And it's a different version of what my boys go through. I love my boys. The stories are also very traumatic. I just cried with a young man yesterday. And I love that young man. And he is the reason why I do shit like this. But I guess the girly stories have just been weighing on me a lot over this past semester. And there's so many of them. And it's not just from family members like men, it's also from medical physicians and doctors. I've talked about this in the previous few pods now that I can actually talk about women's related issues and be more vulnerable and open and more feminine about this on the podcast now that we don't have the other co-host. And I want to do this scene. I wanted to make sure that you guys, it doesn't matter what gender, but specifically my girlies, stand the fuck up. But also, please don't be ashamed if you freeze. Don't be ashamed. You didn't choose to freeze. Your body did what it needed to do to survive the moment. You couldn't think. Your brain and your prefrontal cortex We're going to get into the scene in a second. Your brain and your prefrontal cortex are working, and they're seeing everything, and they're watching everything, and they know what's happening. They know that they're in danger. They know that this thing is happening. But it doesn't matter, because the amygdala is firing like fucking crazy, and it's telling you to run, leave, run. But you can't, because you're frozen, because your nervous system's in complete shock and failure. And so everything is telling you to go, but you can't. And so when we tell people or victims, you should have left, you should have said something, you should have done something. Why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you say no? It doesn't work like that. I assume that I'll post this and then people will comment about a bunch of horrible things and say that, a bunch of stupid shit about victims. Why don't you try being in one of those positions? When the gun's pointed towards your head, we'll see what you do. We'll see what you do when someone's getting ready to take your life or physically, sexually, mentally abuse you. We'll see what happens to you when you're backed into a fucking corner. Don't open your mouth about shit you don't know about. And I know that I'm a fighter because I've been put in many positions to do so. Does that make me tough? No. I was put in those positions because I wanted to be in those positions, most of them, because I enjoyed the statistical chance in which I may die. This is an older version of me, technically younger, previous version. And don't feel like crying because I'm not even really sad about this, but you get so used to like pain, physical pain, abuse, trauma, the blood pouring from your body because of certain things. And it becomes normal. And then you're like waiting for it, the impact. And there's something weird about it and like familiar about it, but it's fucking horrible. And then when it's inflicted upon you, when you were powerless before, well, now you're not. So then when it happens, you can do things. You can hurt people. But then you also greater the chances of you most likely getting in trouble or a gun being pulled on you or something worse happening. So when you're already that angry and you're already that miserable, men don't always, certain men of color, don't always put themselves in position to take their own lives. They put their position for it to be taken, which is still to me the very same thing as suicidality. Why do I tell you this? Not to talk about any of my shit. It's, I don't want you to be sad if you froze, because that shame is where you will die. We see in this first scene that the young boy is talking to the dad, his soon-to-be girlfriend's dad, and he's trying to teach him and coach him up. And he's talking about this traumatic thing that happened with his brother. And they were fighting at this tournament, and like they won the tournament. And then the guys like were super mad, and then they jump him and his brother. In that moment, they're kicking these guys' asses that jumped them. Who knows who these guys are? Obviously, there's some losers that lost in the tournament. They pull a knife. They tragically stab their brother. He dies. What you see is the young boy freeze. And he screams for his brother, right? The older brother. He screams for him, hey! And then you see what happens. The young man was just frozen. And that's what he talks about throughout the entire movie is freezing. He has this trauma response of freezing, of being incapable, of being blocked, of being stuttered or slowed or redacted in some ways in which his brain can't get past what's going on. You have no choice. Your body does what it does. You can't believe what's happening. You can't imagine what is happening right in front of you, that is happening to you. It goes into system failure. It's a neurological response. And the only way to get out of it is to maybe script it and script it and script it and script it to where you fight out of it every time and you visualize it. But I don't want you to visualize horrible things, but I do want you to visualize you getting out of it and being safe. Maybe doing some narrative therapy and finishing the story in a good way after the traumatic response. We do that with nightmares, dreams, PTSD. And so that's what I was telling someone recently, that I want you instead of freezing, because if we don't practice this, we most likely will freeze because we haven't corrected the neural response yet. We haven't modified it to where you feel comfortable even speaking or saying something to people. And so that's what we're going to do. And so I take this scene, which is very sad. I do think it's beautiful on what she said, right? There's this old Chinese thing in which they allow the deaf to leave the house, right? They open up all the windows and door, and they, right? They shoo it out. And then you see Homeboy from the Mighty Ducks. I wish it was that easy because it's not that easy. The death lingers with you of loved ones, specifically if you feel that you were the reason why it happened. It's traumatic, and it sits with you, and it eats at you, and it rottens your soul, and you can't function, you can't think, you're debilitated, you're angry, and if anything is even more incorrect, right? The biggest thing that's incorrect is that it somehow was your fault. It's not. It was the person that caused that thing. It's their fault. It's that murderer. It's that abuser. It's that situation's fault. You didn't do anything. You didn't ask for this to happen. I hate telling these things to my girlies, my boys too, but my girlies, that this is what we need to do to protect ourselves. This is what we need to do to stand up for ourselves. This is what we need to do to be heard, supported, valued, seen, listened to. Should just be given. I shouldn't be telling you to do certain things. I should be telling the other people to be kind, to be empathetic, to be loving. I should be modifying their behaviors, but they don't come into therapy. You do. I can't force them to be kind, but I can force you to be stronger. I can force you to be graceful to yourself and kind. I can talk to you about what it is to respect yourself enough and to rehearse these things and have someone that believes in you to where you can say, go fuck yourself. As long as you're safe as well too, right? Context, time and place. I think I have to work with this with a lot of clients where they blame themselves for freezing. I remember I had a person, it's one of my favorite stories. She's a badass girl. Badass. Tough as nails. Be getting into bar fights and shit like that. Vicious. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, but vicious. She'd be sweet as pie with me. She would cry all the time. She would talk about a lot of things. Talk about abuse. Talk about just a lot of graphic things. Talk about something else in the past that I won't discuss, but obviously it's on par with this podcast. And then that type of thing actually ended up happening again. And they said, Dr. Nas, I wasn't Dr. Nas then. They said, Nas, can't believe I froze. And she just cries. So what are you going to do, right? You're finally telling someone and you think that my ass cares, and I do. And so you finally feel safe to like let the mask down. And you're sick of like things happening and the alcohol and all this other shit. And then you say, I froze. My girl never freezes. She's tough as nails. But even the toughest one freeze. Even your gangsters and your thugs, your athletes, your hypermasculine individuals, even folks like me freeze. We don't know what to do. We're locked. And then you end up getting locked in that cognitive moment for sometimes the rest of your life. You don't get to choose. But some of my humans, you see that they don't even see the point of fighting back because they don't see the value in themselves. And so they may allow it subconsciously to happen. Meaning, this is what I deserve. Meaning, if this happens, it's fine. This has happened before. It can happen again. I don't want to be hurt even worse is something that I hear. I don't want to jeopardize my job, my money, my status. I don't want to make things worse. And some folks honestly just believe that this is it. And whether they like the person or not, they'll allow it to happen because it's fine. It's not fine. The freezing thing happens. And so you see with this young man where obviously you want to protect your brother and you would die for your brother, but that's how you think and feel, but your physiological response will impede that. I'm sorry for those of you that this is triggering for. I don't even like talking about that shit. But you're not alone. You're not a coward. You are not weak. You're not a failure. You deserve all the love and joy and happiness, security, comfort, contentment. Right? You deserve that. But you are going to have to toughen the exterior, or at least believe that you deserve these things, so then you can at least speak on the things. Speak. We're just going to stick to speaking. You can navigate and leave that situation. And so I was telling someone today, I want you to practice what you're going to say to this person. From now on, when you're sick of conversations, when you don't want to have this anymore, when you're sick of these people saying this, and this, and you don't politically align, you're not morally, ethically aligned, you think that they're negative as fuck, you think that they're fucking egotistical, you think they're just some other dumbass dude, I need you to get comfortable with, you know what, I don't agree. Actually, I think don't agree. I'm done talking about this conversation because I don't really care for the direction it's going. And I think your opinion is factually wrong and invalid. And I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this conversation. I think you can find your own ways to say that. But instead of just going along with it and nodding about it, it'd be awesome if you practice these things and you repeat it at nighttime when you're stewing and thinking about things and you're angry that you allowed yourself or some fucking loser to say something sideways to you. I want you to practice what you're going to say. I need you to script it autistically as fuck. Script it. I've been called on my behaviors multiple times in my life for saying wild, out of pocket shit, horrible jokes. And there's one time, right, I said a horrible joke multiple times, but there's one specific time that sticks out. And someone checked me. And I'm very thankful that they checked me. And I have never made that joke or that reference ever again the rest of my life. And I have corrected people's behaviors when they made that stupid fucking joke too. I didn't see the damage it did because other people would laugh. Well, why is it when I said it to this person, they didn't laugh? And then eventually you think that, oh my God, they didn't laugh because maybe this horrible thing happened to them. If it happened to them, it probably happened to others. So why the fuck did I ever say this stupid shit? But awesome woman stopped me. Don't know who it is. We were in graduate school together. It was after graduation. I said something stupid. Yeah, I never said that type of thing ever again. Never will. Never will stand for anyone saying that type of thing again. So why do I tell you this? I'm deeply flawed. But I respect that person for telling me to shut the fuck up. I respect anyone that stands up for themselves, morals, values, ethics, and for others that are maybe being harmed by physical emotions, words, right? Being harmed, right? I appreciate those that stand up for themselves and others. And so I think we practice this. I want you to do your best to rewrite what you will say in certain situations. We're only talking about standing up to others. We're only talking about setting boundaries, advocating for yourself, affirming, and like stupid conversations with people that you just don't give a fuck about. And they're saying some wild stuff and you're like, my guy, I'm good. I'm done. I want you to play that in your head. I want you to write it down, what you will say when you get in these conversations. And I know a lot of you have these conversations all the time where you fake it and you smile and you do that stupid fucking laugh. This fucking sucks. And I want you to do that anymore. And they're probably going to call you a bitch. You have to be okay with being the villain. You betray yourself, or you betray some asshole that you don't like and don't even know. Choice is yours. My choice is yours. You can also skip over this podcast too. So, I wish to God that we can just do what we needed to do to stand up in these situations. I wish, right, and not just religiously, I just wish that we could do the thing and we can't. Sometimes. So you see this first trauma. You see him being frozen. We'll skip to the third scene technically. You now see where the dad gets in this boxing match. It's fixed. Gets his head kicked in. Goes to the ground. kid starts having flashbacks. Now this is PTSD, right? This traumatic event, the acute traumatic event. Now this is the reverberations that has forever changed him. So now when he sees this thing, when he sees this act of violence, he freezes again. And his girlfriend is, what, help? I need you. And he's shaking. Whether the acting was good or not throughout the movie, that doesn't matter, because this is an awesome like kids movie, right? Very nostalgic. Love Jackie Chan. I just loved seeing him. But the way he shakes and he's frozen and he's and then they do the flashbacks. That's how it is in a lot of our brains. And if you're have a version of hyperphantasia and you can see the visuals and you can taste it, touch it, feel it, imagine it, and you're in it. So now we're not talking about just a flashback. We're talking about a reliving experience. You're reliving the experience. Sometimes it's something just random throughout the day in which is like super embarrassing for a client, and then they relive it, and they relive it, and they relive it, and then they hate themselves because they have just socially alienated themselves. But a lot of us will replay it. And so this version of his PTSD is replaying through these triggers, and he froze. Then they go to the hospital and they're in the ambulance. And then he has the flashbacks again of his brother being carried into his death in the hospital, his mom being there, and he can't move. He's frozen once again. He doesn't want to be frozen. He doesn't want this to happen. He's not actively choosing to not help out. He's not actively choosing to allow his brother to die. To his boss and his employer and his girlfriend's dad, who he seems to deeply love and knows they just got his head fucked. He's not choosing to do that. You're not choosing to allow someone to do the things that they do. Yeah. So it's crazy that a lot of people will think that, it's their fault. But so often the week, that's not true. I know it's what you believe. It's not true. The world is rotten at times. People are rotten at times. And as we parlay this into the fifth scene, at the very end, is you can allow it to pollute you. Now we're also talking about Darth Maul. And you can extract vengeance, and you can lock up, and you can hide yourself away, and you can have horrible relationships where you allow people to poop on you, take, and assault you in certain ways. You can get into poor relationships because you believe that you deserve this. Or you can start working on yourself, start believing in yourself, start doing things to make you feel bigger, faster, stronger, more resilient, more kind, more loving, but you will have to trust someone. When you are ready, you will have to trust someone. Why do I say that? When you are ready, because it will take time for you to heal. And I'm never going to shit on one for being alone. That's not what this is about. Romantic intimacy. That's not what this is about. This is about, I deeply believe that you can hide yourself in your extracurriculars, your 3D prints, your music, your art, whatever that you can hide yourself in all these things. And you can hide your heart away. And you can protect it in this cocoon. And it'll never be hurt again. Never be hurt again. No one, it will be unseeable. Disappear. But in that cocoon, it now becomes a coffin. Impenetrable. Movable. Cold. Lifeless. But you'll never be hurt again. So give your heart to no one. You'll never be hurt. Hide your heart away. You'll never be hurt. But also become cold. You do what you need to do to protect yourself. I am simply saying that if you love anything, you will be hurt. If you trust folks, if you have emotional intimacy with folks, if you love something, you will be hurt. But that's the choice that we all have to make. Even after you are deeply damaged, the choice you have to make. You don't have to be stuck in that mode forever. You can rebuild. All my clients do. Some of them take longer than others. But we build, and we build, and we build. And I'm patient, and I'm kind, and I'm mean, and I'm a bully to them, and then I'm patient, and I'm kind, and we build, and we build. And eventually they stand on their own, and eventually start taking things for themselves. Eventually they get in good relationships with their family members, their siblings, their workmates, their supervisors. They ask for raises. They ask for more accommodations at their workplace. They ask for more intimacy in the ways in which they want it, sexually, intellectually. There are certain love languages. They do the things they need to do, which are congruent and affirming to them. It takes time. But you cannot sit in the place of shame or the place of victimhood, even though you were. Because then I think that you will never allow anyone to like be heard by you, because you'll be too scared that they'll do the same or that they won't care. And that'd be even worse than saying something, right? I mean, the worst thing is if you say something and then they poop on you again. So this freeze model is intense. I have to spend a lot of time working with clients, building this up, building this up, building this up. A lot of time. Becoming stronger, becoming self-advocates, even with doctors' offices, becoming self-advocates. Dr. Nas, I did it again. I said, what? Well, they said a bunch of stuff and they said this and that. And they keep saying that I'm schizophrenic or bipolar. They keep saying that this isn't a physical issue, that I'm just making it up, that this is just psychosomatic. They keep saying that, you know, my hoo-ha ain't hurting. I'm like, girl, your hoo-ha ain't right. It ain't right. I ain't even got no coochie. That ain't right. Now, is it saying that, you know, I need to be on this medicine, not this medicine? I said, let me talk to the doctor. My kid goes, Nas, the doc was being funny with me. And, right, they weren't trying to give me the ADHD meds, this and that, right? And they want to give me the anxiety meds. But we both know I need an executive function. And Dr. Nas, what do I do? I said, I need to sign this release of information. I'm going to call the doctor. You give me permission? Okay. We're going to talk to the doctor. Talk to the doctor, handle it. And I check them with the most love and respect that I can. Looky here, motherfucker. You need to back the fuck off my kid. You need to treat them like a human first. And remember that you're talking to a human, a person, a very sensitive person. And they ain't just fucking money. I've had this conversation with multiple doctors and psychiatric nurse practitioners. This is a kind soul. You cannot do what you are doing. And you need to be more cautious. With my autistic and ADHD and traumatized population, you need to come correct and trauma informed. And they usually do. And they usually bend the knee. I've been able to work with some lovely doctors, psychiatric nurse practitioners in the last year and a half running the private practice. But I will take the bullet. I will take the bullet with some of my clients talking to their romantic partners, talking to their parents. Let me take the bullet. I know you can't say the things, and I know I need to teach you to say the things. Let me say the things first. You can try, you can do your thing, you can write, you can have the meetings, and if it fails, let Nazi step in. Take care of it. It's going to go terrible, but at least it's going to be said. And it usually ends up pretty good. It usually ends up pretty good, man. I can usually navigate things to make people understand stuff. And I'm not a bad person. I'm a loving and deeply passionate person for my clients, and everyone can see that. And then my client sees it's done. They see how to talk to people. They see how to stand up to people. They see how to advocate for people. They see me do it with that person that they're involved with. Now they learn and replicate it. That's what I'm pushing. That's what I'm teaching. The self-actualization by modeling. I hope I'm doing that for you guys. Yeah, I hope I'm doing that for you guys. So the Be Better scene, right? That last scene is you see him getting ready. He wins the match, and then this asshole dude gets ready, kicks his ass, like right cheap shot him, and then he has a choice to like pound him in the head. Like you know that he's probably not going to hit him in the head, right? In vengeance, but then it looks like he is. My favorite part is that you see Jackie Chan be like, "Hey," and he looks very like scared and sad. That's why I captured that moment. Because in that moment, the devil and the angel are sitting on your shoulder, and the angel's being like, "You're gonna regret this. Don't do this. Don't become them. Don't do it. Don't continue the cycle of hatred. Don't continue the cycle of abuse, manipulation, extortion. Don't do it. Coercion. Don't do it. Alcoholism. Don't do it. You can be better. You are better." Actually, all my clients are always better than what the things that would happen to them and the people that did the things or didn't stand up for them. They're always better. Remember, I had a boy. He freaking out about something. Can't get no detail on that. And I said, "You'll never be like your father." A lot of my boys are scared about this. You'll never be like your father. But one, you're not a fucking degenerate alcoholic. I love my folks that deal with substance abuse. Love them. Good people. But you're not an abuser like your father. And you're so worried and scared about it, then I know you'll never become that. But how do you know, man? You know, I got anger issues and I be drinking and shit. But you're freaking out about it right now. And I can see the goodness in your heart. And you're standing up to your father about this and that. You ain't going to become your father, brother. As long as you continue doing what you're doing. As long as you continue talking to someone like me. As long as you continue trusting people. But if you hide in that cocoon of that booze in that bottle, you going to die in it. Again, you hide. Your heart becomes cold. And I get that you went through trauma and you use the substances to like cover it. Don't do that. You're not destined to become the people that hurt you. You're not. You're not. So he doesn't punch the kid. I don't think it works out as good as like that in real life where he doesn't punch the kid and like bow to each other. I think that's kind of bullshit, but whatever. I forgot about something. So the girl I was talking about earlier, they had a gorgeous name and their name had translated into something bad. It had translated into like the subservient one or the helper of men, right? The obedient one to like men, something to do with like, just allowing men to like do something, right? And they grew up with that. That's what they were told when they were younger, right? Is the subservient one to men, and that was their thing. That was their persona. That was their identity. It polluted them. They were told that they could never even cry either. Matter of fact, they were timed. That's it. You get to cry for that. That's it. And they come to me and they cry all the time. We talk about a lot of things. So as we got stronger and stronger and stronger, I ended up like Googling their name. It had nothing to do with men. It ended up being like the most beautiful, radiant, strong, resilient, powerful thing there was. Changed everything. They were told to lie. That this is who they are. And it followed them forever. Something as simple as that can pollute a mind. I decided, let me look. It can't be that. It won't. I won't allow your name to mean. We're gonna find you a different fucking name. We're gonna go in the Bible and find a new one. Mm-hmm. I'm calling you Littlefoot, motherfucker. We're gonna change your name. Mm-hmm. And then we looked it up and it was gorgeous. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the smile. And then I remember the cry. And I remember she demanded things and she did really good afterwards. She graduated. It was fantastic. So as I pivot into the next scene, second to last scene is scene 2. You see the girly. She plays him perfect, right? My autistic ass has got this shit tied up. Is you see her and she's dating this fucking dirtbag, the shitty ass dude that's beating everyone up and like was horrible to her. Right? She was dating that's her ex that he kicks his ass at the end. And she's like, I made bad choices. And she's like, I just don't know what to do. And you keep making these bad choices, but you don't want to. And you keep going back to this toxic ass dude. But like, it's normal. It's what I expect. I don't know if I deserve it. I can't get out of it. It's just easier. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And so you just stay in this horrible relationship because this is all you know. This is what you deserve. This is it. This is fine. I just don't want to. Fuck it. And so you're stuck in these horrible ass relationships. I've seen it from young girlies all the way up to my 50-year-olds. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And it like golden handcuffs you. The sunken cost value for some folks too. And it's really tough to get out of those relationships. It's really tough. And I know for a lot of neurodivergent people, it's really hard for us to break our bonds, even if we know it's a bad relationship. Really hard to break the bonds. Because also a lot of you get beaten into no worth. I'm included in you. And this is it. This is the best I can get. Some of your partners are telling you that's the best. If they tell you this is the best you're going to get, I'm the only one that will ever love you. That is the biggest fucking red flag for actual narcissism. There's a lot of motherfuckers that be like, it's narcissism. You know, he's narcissistic. No, your partner probably wasn't narcissistic. They're probably just fucking idiots. They're probably just like a privileged little bitch. The real narcissism is when they start saying shit like that. The real personality disorders is you'll never be anything without me. I am the reason why you're here. I'm the only one that can love you. When they start pushing you and isolating you away from all your friends, cautious. When they start telling you that you have to depend on them, cautious. When they start threatening things like suicidality if you break up with them, cautious. When they start taking your cell phone or materials, or you start having these obligations or leashes, careful. When they start telling you that your therapist is crazy. When they start telling you your therapist is crazy. I don't want you to talk to your therapist. Cautious. If anyone doesn't want you talking to me, cautious. I wish I would have known this with a couple people. Could have saved them a lot of trouble if they would have told me that. Because they know I'm smart. They know that I would see the con or the game. And so they tell people, don't tell anyone. Someone said this today to a different kid. We were just talking shit. Don't tell your parents. Don't tell this person. Whenever they say don't tell this person, I'm already sus, my guy. We doing some grimy shit, ain't we? What we doing? What you about to do? Don't tell your therapist. Okay. Someone ever says that to you, run for the hills. So I'm telling you this because it's hard for her to get away from this toxic ass boy. And she got this lovely young man, right? And he's razzing her. It's all the razz. It's blueberry razz, motherfucker. I don't know if that's weed or cologne. I could have just said Kool-Aid. Go Kool-Aid. It got weed in the Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. That's good shit. Mm-hmm. My arthritis. Let me stop. So she can't get away, and right, he's, risen her up, and she's like starting to fall for it, and he's a good boy, and the dad likes her, right? But also she's in this weird toxic shit with the homeboy. You can see that she's got a trauma response. But like there's this history, and like that dude can turn it on as well too, the narcissist. They can turn it on. They're good at wooing people. They have the personality and the swag. They're not always a fucking dick. They're not always this condescending fucking prick. They have to lure you in, and then they isolate. And so she was going through stuff. Things happen, right? I think her mother dies. And yeah, the mother dies. And so, right, she was vulnerable. And in that vulnerability, someone can ooze their way into your art and plant seeds and roots in places, which just poisons the soil. It's an invasive species. And she says, I made a lot of mistakes, and then he freaks out and he said, I didn't make a mistake. She says, I did make a mistake today because I know I wanted to make mistakes with someone else. He said, I'm the mistake. It's very cute. I love that for her. I love that for a lot of my other girlies that get themselves out of these bad relationships. It like baffles me that some of my clients will accept people back like after like horrendous cheating, lying, manipulation, you know, abuse and all that stuff. And you know, I get it baffles me. I'm not in your situation, so I fully can't comprehend it. I've never been put in that situation. And some of the times I've been in some similar esque in some ways, and like I'm out. I'm out, my guy. Like I'm done. Uh and I can empathize because I feel the pain. But a lot of my folks are stuck. And it doesn't matter how old or wise they are. If you don't have value in your core identities or you don't know what your core identities are, then people will set the boundaries and limitations for you. And then you will co-sign it. You'll fawn. You'll co-sign it and then you'll fawn over them. It's a very tough struggle. I wanted to put that scene in there, not only because of that, but also I think he was acting like a little punk, the good boy, the Karate Kid, because he was being weird about it. Instead of just talking to her about that he likes her, wants to date her, right? He feels a bunch of different ways about her, and he hides and he acts like a little asshole and he shoves her away and like he neglects her. And then she's like, "What is going on, my guy?" And it's because you had your little feelings hurt. And I get it. I'd be fucking devastated too if I just saw the girl that I pretty much love kiss some other dude. I'm like, what the fuck? I'd be devastated. But he handled it appropriate for like a high school kid, right? He's a high school kid. I'm telling you as an adult, maybe a high school kid, to use your maturity and do better. Use your words. Um, as we get into the last scene, the balcony scene with Jackie, surprise, I'm bald, bitch. As we get in the last scene with like Jackie Chan, we see, there it is, right there, perfect. We see that he's like, "Hey man, she worth fighting for?" And he goes, "Yeah, she is." I like to bring this up because are you worth fighting for? Homework assignment. Are you worth fighting for? Do you think that you deserve to fight for yourself, to fight for the little one inside? I want you to write this shit down. And if you say no, that's fine. Why? If you say yes, that's fine. Why? Are you worth fighting for? Your beliefs, values, morals, your body? I believe you are. I don't even know you. I believe you are. I teach my young girlies every day and my boys every day. You're worth fighting for. I saw some really cool posts recently with a therapist, forgot her name, that was on a podcast with us, Asian woman. And she just wrote a book. She publicized it. And I feel like she's famous as shit. And she was talking about like this new version of like therapy they're doing. I forgot the liberation and all this shit. I'm like, damn, I do a lot of this shit. I just did me being autistic. So I texted a young man from yesterday. What I text this motherfucker? I'm gonna pull this shit up. Right, this ain't no hip shit. I'm just gonna tell you what I said to someone. Tell you the motherfucking man I am. Okay, let me go. Let me find it. Let me find it. I thought about you again last night, and I just wanted to say how proud I am of you as a person and a man. You're a fantastic human. And I'm glad that this other person, has you in their life. Your partner, I'm glad that your partner has a person like you in their corner. I think people don't understand how much you actually help, show, and do. I'm sorry that people have taken advantage of that or fail to acknowledge it. I want you to know that I see it, I appreciate you, and I have a lot of love for you as a person. I sent them the gif of Sully from Monsters Inc. hugging the little girl. I always send that. That's like my sign off for a lot of folks. I'm a sucker for like big boys hugging kids. And I texted, "This is when you cry. LOL, laugh emoji." I told another dude the other day, I said, I was going to text you. I'm nobody. You don't need to make me proud. That's not what this is about. I said, I was going to text you that I was proud of you because I thought about you. And I said, I want to do it in person, so I deleted it. So I told him, I said, it's the first time I ever seen you happy, excited, proud, joyful about something you did and accomplished. That you're doing the things, finally. Doesn't matter what age you are. You're doing the things. It was awesome to see that. And I wanted to let you know that it's pretty fucking dope. And I think you got a lot of potential. Doesn't matter what age you are, older person. I'm really excited about what you're about to do and conquer in the coming days and years. He played it off. And he said, hey, real quick. Thank you, bro. I got you, bro. Just needed you to know that I seen it. I'm happy for you. Why do I tell you this? Because we don't tell each other this shit. My girlies don't get it. And my boys sure as fuck don't get it. So I'm a man to fuck up and do it. My glorious burden. I believe in all of you. I do. Don't know you. But if you're listening to me, you made it through something. Or you're getting through something. And I believe in you because you're resilient. I'm going to leave with this. My girlie the other day told me, who's frozen in moments and anxious and overwhelmed and autistic and ADHD, she said, I'm not resilient. And she goes, I'm not resilient because I'm all these emotional things and everyone else is resilient who handles it with grace and confidence. And they're strong. You can see it physically on them. I said, all my clients are resilient. Matter of fact, if they're with me, they're crazy as shit too. So, and they're freaking the fuck out in anxiety and all this crazy shit. And so they're better than you, but they got the same emotions that you do. They just might be a little bit more stoic, a little bit more reserved, a little bit more calm on the outside. They're freaking out on the inside. Resiliency is not about you being cool as a cucumber, cool as the other side of the pillow, about not having emotions and not having anxiety. That's not resiliency. Resiliency is falling the fuck down, getting beaten, and getting back up. Refusing to die. That's resiliency. Learning. That's resiliency. Loving. That's resiliency. Trusting. Resiliency. Teaching others the way. This is the way. Resiliency. Resiliency is not about the way in which you handle the situation. It's about you surviving the situation. And some may handle it more gracefully, but that does not disqualify your ability to be strong and powerful. You made it. And I'm proud of you. Okay. We got a lot of podcasts coming up. Karate Kid was today. We're doing the Iron Claw. I finally want to get to it. So we're going to be talking about parental abuse, but specifically like the suicidality and like these horrible fucking toxic fathers, toxic parental figures. But we're going to be talking about that with men. Iron Claw is a very, very, very sad movie. It's a big trigger warning for that. We're going to do Migration, as I told you guys, an animated movie. And we're going to be talking about like anxiety, just in general. Like how that can manifest on us and how we freak out about our kids and become a little hypervigilant, a little paranoid. Sounds like a lot of my autistic moms. So we're going to talk about that. We are going to do Southpaw, and we're going to talk about this like horrific traumatic event that happens where he loses his wife and then he like loses his kid, has to go into rehab. So we're going to kind of talk about like just alcohol abuse, rehab, depression, the cope, and like building yourself back up. We're going to talk about that Michael Beasley podcast that we're going to get to, Elio, and Hoppers. I'm going to shoot all these in the next like 4 or 5 days. So I'm really excited about that. And my niece just sent me something else. We're going to do something about some ladybugs, the miraculous ladybugs. All right, everyone. Make sure if you made it this far, please, 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 Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, comment Karate Kid. Tag 2 people. I'll enter you into the raffle. I'll have fucking Excel Picket or whatever fucking raffle maker there is. I don't know. I've never done this. And then I'll start sending everything out July 1st. I've already got a couple winners for some other pods, and now I'm going to be shooting these all out. So again, spread the word. Much love, much appreciation, and take care of yourselves. And if you can't right now, we'll get you there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We always do. Peace.